There's a tree in Washington, D.C. right now that's almost 400 years old, small enough to lift with two hands, and has a history so wild, I'm giving it its own short video later this year. We're not getting into that one today, but keep it in your back pocket, because it's coming. Today is the bigger origin story behind it, how bonsai went from ancient Chinese landscape mysticism to a 2,000-year-old art form practiced worldwide. Let's go back nearly 2,000 years to when bonsai had a completely different name and was a practice that had little to do with trees being tiny and cute. Now, I know you're thinking, wait, did you say Chinese? I thought bonsai were from Japan. Most everyone assumes bonsai is a Japanese invention. It's not. It's Japan's refinement of something that started in China centuries earlier called Penjing or Bonsai, roughly tray scenery or pot planting. The earliest evidence goes back to around the Han Dynasty, and there's even a mural in a tomb from 706 CE showing attendants carrying miniature potted landscapes. Tiny landscapes! And this is the part that surprises people. Penjing wasn't about a single beautiful tree. It was about building an entire miniature world. Mountains, rivers, rock formations, sometimes tiny figurines, tied up in Taoist ideas about capturing the essence of nature, and even some belief that recreating a landscape in miniature could grant the owner a kind of mystical power over it. So first, this whole art form started as Chinese landscape mysticism, not a windowsill hobby. Starting around the 6th century, Japan sent wave after wave of diplomats and students of Buddhism to Tang Dynasty China, dozens of official missions over a couple centuries. They came back with Chinese ideas, goods, and art, and container-grown trees were part of that cultural haul. By the Heian period, and more concretely by the Kamakura period, this practice had properly taken root in Japan. Pun intended. We even have visual proof. An 1195 scroll called the Saigo Monogatari Emaki shows some of the earliest known depictions of dwarfed potted trees in the country. Here's the interesting turn. Japan didn't just copy Penjing, they made it their own. Around the 13th century, Chan Buddhism from China merged with existing Japanese thought and became Zen Buddhism. And Zen's whole philosophy, restraint, simplicity, distilling things down to their essence, reshaped what this art form looked like. Out went the elaborate multi-tree landscapes, the mountain and river dioramas. In came a much stricter, more minimalist focus. One tree, one pot, and every cut and wire placement meant something. The Japanese even had a practical reason to simplify. Japan is a fraction of the size of mainland China, so the appetite for sprawling landscape scenes never really matched the culture the way it did in the country where it originated. This is also roughly when the tree-focused version started getting its own name. Bon, meaning tray or pot, and sai, meaning planting. Put them together, and you get bonsai, literally planted in a container. For a long stretch, only the wealthy and powerful practiced this. Trees were collected from the wild, trained for years, and given as luxury gifts between elites. Owning one wasn't even about liking plants, it was about status. But as Zen Buddhism spread more broadly through Japanese culture, bonsai got folded in along other Zen-associated disciplines: calligraphy, tea ceremony, flower arranging, as a form of meditative practice. Not just something you owned, but something you did slowly for years as a way of training patience and attention, which you'll understand if you've ever tried to wire a branch without snapping it. Bonsai stayed largely contained to Japan and China for centuries, only known in passing elsewhere. That changed dramatically in the 20th century. After World War II, soldiers and diplomats began bringing bonsai home as souvenirs, which sparked public curiosity and interest. Then in the 50s and 60s, modern bonsai masters like John Naka, a Japanese-American pioneer of the art, and Yuji Yoshimura became bonsai ambassadors to the West. They published the first instructional books in English and founded early organizations like the California Bonsai Society in 1950. In 1976, Japan gave the United States a bicentennial gift. 53 bonsai worth millions, personally escorted across the Pacific and eventually housed in the U.S. National Arboretum in Washington, D.C. That gift is where the National Bonsai and Penjing Museum's collection really began. This gift is the moment bonsai stopped being a niche import and became the global practice we know today, with clubs, collections, and hobbyists worldwide. I think about this lineage every time someone says bonsai is just a hobby. It's not. It's a 2,000-year-old chain of an idea that patience and restraint applied to a living thing over a very long time can turn into something that outlasts dynasties, empires, and the people who started it. Some of the trees in that National Arboretum collection are old enough to have quietly witnessed history that most of us only read about, including one tree with a story I'm saving for its own video this August. Your bonsai on the windowsill is a very small, very young link in that same chain. That's the road from Han Dynasty landscape mysticism to a global practice with its own museums and collections. Keep an eye out this August for the follow-up. One specific tree from the National Arboretum collection has a history that deserves its own video. Until then, if you want the deep dive on actual bonsai technique, wiring, root pruning, the stuff that turns a regular plant into one of these, let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.
If your plants look sad and you lost all hope, tried everything, you're at the end of your rope. Should you throw them out into the street? Nope, just ask Planty Jen. If you wanna be a Planty acolyte, learn the tips and tricks to keep them growing right. Water, fertilizer, and the right amount of light, just ask Planty Jen.